You are now tuned in to the Dads Who Lift podcast. Please give us a like, share, subscribe to the YouTube account. We are on www.dadswholiftofficial.com. All the podcast links are in there. We also have an apparel line. We're on IG as Dads Who Lift Official handle. We're on Facebook, Dads Who Lift Podcast. We also have a Dads Who Lift fitness group on Facebook that's Dads Who Lift Official. A group of 30,000 like-minded dads that are just trying to be their best selves and staying fit. If that's something you're into, please check it out. But we do this stuff for free, guys, so please give us a like, share, 5-star review. We really appreciate your support. All right, you are now tuned into the Dads Who Live podcast. You have your host, Tyler Gata.
Co-host, Joel Staley.
And we have on Sami and Jian, creators of Balls Token. Sami, you want to go into what you were just saying there?
Yeah, so we started looking around and we decided that there was a lot of tokens that were out there that really weren't meaning anything. There was all these like currencies and tokens that were going out there that had really no value at all. And we decided, what if we did something that was being able to be used to help promote men's health and give some self-awareness to just the topic of men's health. And we said, you know what if we called it Balls, and donated.
Because we all have balls.
Donated 2% of all the transactions that were taking place to just further researching prostate and testicular cancer. And so it's something that we're doing for a good cause, but at the same time, we wanted to be able to use it for exchanging for services. So people who want to improve their mental health, their physical health, people who want to go to, let's say, a chiropractor, someone who wants to train with some fitness coaches or dating coaches or relationship coaches, just something to kind of spread awareness for men's health.
Let's talk about how we know Sami and a little bit about what you do.
Real quick, let's go back into that Tim Reed story real quick.
Oh, yeah? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't know about that.
What? Come on.
I don't want to put him on blast on the podcast.
Oh, I mean, it is what it is.
I was going to tell you offline.
No, I thought we were doing it online. It's just OnlyFans, bro. It's all good.
Yeah, okay. I'll keep it PG then, I guess. But yeah, dude, that's messed up. Let's not go into it.
It's already spilled.
Story for another day, guys.
Let's keep it positive.
I didn't hear this story. I would love to hear it.
Jam wants to hear it.
One of our buddies set up an OnlyFans. We don't know. I'm not going to pay the $10 a month to find out what's going on.
Oh, you didn't? I did.
You did? You bought?
Fuck no. This is the first I heard it. I've never bought an OnlyFans in my life.
Speaking of balls, yeah, no, for sure. But
especially not a balls one.
We met Sami at a conference. Menfluential, yeah. And
years? How what was that? 2 years ago now?
It was like the week before COVID hit.
Yeah, I think.
We went to the conference, and so it was
Atlanta.
The event was called Menfluential, which is a great topic for this podcast because it's just a conference where a lot of men get together talking about like improving their fashion sense of style, their fitness, just all areas of their lives that they can improve. So it was just a lot of guys who were in the same mindset, and we met, and because you guys were some of the only cooler guys who I got to actually hang out with at the event, and we stayed in touch, and it was still in touch still today.
So Sami's a relationship coach for men, right? Tell us a little bit more about your niche and who you help.
Sure. So I work with men who are basically struggling with their social confidence, men who haven't been able to get themselves out there into the dating world and meet and attract their ideal partner. So what I do is I work with them and help them just build up a confidence with themselves, help them work on their social skills, and get them integrated into the world so that they can, meet someone and find someone and settle down with someone awesome.
Badass, dude.
Yeah.
I know a lot of guys that could benefit from that. And how'd you meet Jian?
Jian and I met at a mastermind dinner party that a friend of mine threw. I'll cut the long story very, very short. I was standing in a food truck in New York City, and I was waiting for this food, 1 hour line to end. So I'm at the end of the line, and as I'm getting closer, the guy's like, guys, we ran out. Like, everyone go home. And me and this guy in front of me were like, no, we're sticking to it. Like, he keeps serving people. We're going to get to the front. And as we move forward, that guy in front of me ends up getting the last piece, and he shares it with me. Sit down with the guy. Turns out this guy's like a guy, he's like some genius software developer who's created his own ClickFunnels competitor. We got along really, really well. He's like, okay, let's go meet up for the next one. When I went up to meet up for the next one, I stalked his Facebook. So he had photos with Richard Branson. Apparently, he went to this dinner with him, went to his private island, all that stuff. And he's like, dude, come to my house. I'm going to be serving a meal. And I'm like, cool. that's awesome. So I went there. It was me, him, and Jian, and like the level of conversation of these guys who were way, way ahead of me in their business life was just a fantastic way to kind of get integrated. And I started like just absorbing and taking everything.
This is why it's important who you surround yourself with, man.
Kind of crazy though. Meeting someone at a food truck ended up getting me to the point where I am here. And then Jian was nice enough to give me his bonus ticket to a mastermind called War Room. War Room is this awesome mastermind being, run by Ryan Dice. And it's some of the best minds in the marketing world out there getting together and just discussing strategies and tactics. And it's fantastic.
Yeah, you told me you got to make like $1 million a year in your business to even qualify, and that's like you're going to be the bottom feeders of the room at that point, because it's a very high level. I'm actually reading Ryan Dice's book right now, The Digital Marketing for Dummies, but
it was great because I was the brokest and dumbest person in the room, and I loved that because
that's where you want to be
from everyone. I was learning so much from everyone. So first of all, Jian, thank you for that opportunity. I think I've told you thank you so many times, but again, thank you for that.
Of course, I like to help my friends out. You want to lift other people around you up. That's what life is about.
Amen.
Absolutely. So how did you guys get to creating a token?
Jian, you want to take over?
So I was talking to Sami because I was investing in one of the tokens called Lonely Fans. I was like, yo, dude, I dropped a grand and I pulled out 25. Like, Lonely Fans, those are your customers. What's going on? You're not in this. And he was like, fuck. How come I didn't hear about it? I was like, yo, you have so many people that you're selling stuff to that are basically Lonely Fans because they're single and they want certain connections, but they can't get it. So Sami was telling me, but I want to do something a little bit more than just showing a random token. I wanted to get involved in donations to testicular cancer. I was like, okay, let's figure something out. Let's come up with an idea that we can go out and bring some utility in the market and sort of create something of value so we could expand and help millions of people. And that's how we came out with balls. We brainstormed and we were like, let's come up with a name that was sticking people's minds. And balls is it. Balls is like universal. It's not just for cancer. Balls is for men and men that want to be healthy.
Yeah, how do you even go about creating a token though? That's the crazy part. Like,
so I've actually been in the crypto space since 2009. Like we started with Bitcoin at like 2 pennies back then, and 10 years later, I worked with my team to develop tons of applications on the blockchain. And from there, the market was quite small back then. A couple of years ago, it wasn't as big as it is today. And we've just been playing with ideas back and forth in the crypto space. So this is like the perfect year because the pandemic hit and everyone's at home. Everyone suddenly started trading crypto because they have, a lot of free time. They read up about it. Bitcoin started going up. So people got curious about the whole crypto space. And the more people jumped in, we were like, wait a minute, there's a huge opportunity for all that skills that we have to be able to capitalize on this market. And that's how we came up with the idea of building a utility token.
Man, you guys haven't even really started marketing yet, right? Because this just launched a couple weeks ago.
We haven't started marketing officially. We started dabbling a little bit here and there, only because we wanted to figure out like what's the best way to convert and hold customers versus just let's pump this up. Let's see where we can take this, like a Safe Moon, a Yummy, or a milk token, and figure out like the rest of the business later. And what we've seen with those tokens is that they all crash. They all went to zero. And guess who's left holding the bag? All those thousands and thousands of poor suckers that are invested in it, and they couldn't get out because they invested so high that there's no one else to buy. So what we're trying to do different is we're actually offering valuable customers services and products that they can consume and they can trade with token, because that allows us to build a floor that allows people to happily put money in to be exchanging it for something that they care about, so that there's more money in the pot, and then they're not dumping it because they're only in it for the financial gains, but they're in it because they want to be healthy. They're in it because they care about themselves. They want to develop, and they want to go out there. They want to start a business. They want to, you know, talk to beautiful women, or they want to just feel better about themselves. And that's the ultimate goal. Because if you build that community, money is not the main topic. It's not the main conversation piece. It's about how to get other people healthy and supporting other people, other men specifically, like brothers.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're really not going after the guys that are already doing a bunch of crypto, but your market's more so of guys that are just looking to be into self-development and back something good. And then once you have a solid base of loyal consumers, then you can start marketing it more to the people that are into crypto.
We want to also hit up the people that are doing crypto. We feel like a lot of those guys are behind the computer screens all the time. I know because I'm one of those. I used to be one of those guys because I spent a good decade coding, programming, building websites. You know, I was one of those guys that were afraid to get out there, afraid to go to places like War Room, afraid to elevate myself because, you know, I didn't want to take the heat in the market. And I can relate, and I can see a bunch of crypto traders, just average men behind the computer screens. They make some money, but they're lacking self-confidence. And I think we can convert them if we have a strong community. So the start is to build the community that matters, starting with, you know, sort of Sami's customers or people that want to change their physical appearances. They want to get in shape and start driving a ton of that traffic in, so that we can hone down and show people this is proof that you can make something stick in the crypto space. Because no one could come to me and name one token that haven't crashed. Not one. I've invested in 52 tokens to date. All 52 crashed. I mean, I made money, but you know, there's probably tens of thousands of people that got stuck with a bag. And we don't want that to happen to the people that are investing in balls. Even though it's a dip, it's a short-term dip because we're sticking to our mission, and we know it's going to curve back upwards once we service the ideal customers.
So can you guys trade? Can you use the token to trade for any services yet, or what? If not, I guess kind of what services do you have in mind down the road?
We have products that are coming up. So there's going to be balls merch. We're talking to a large retailer. Can't disclose who yet, that have agreed to try us out in a bunch of stores. And if it picks up, which it will, because we're going to get the right people behind it, they're going to put us across the whole country in 1,900 stores. So that in itself is going to be a great testament to what we can do. There's services that are collecting balls right now. There's fitness services. There's obviously Sami with his dating services. And we're constantly expanding. We're always looking for people to want to accept balls and try to.
And Joel, you're thinking about accepting balls.
We even have a wellness center that he's like, yeah, we'll accept it. Like, just he's an early investor. He's excited about the project, and he's like, I want to accept it for people who are coming to the wellness center. So that's like a brick and mortar that's taken it. And honestly, this is kind of what got me really motivated and passionate to get behind Jian's message. Is like he said, a lot of these other ones have been made as like a rug pull. They've been made where they'll let it spike, and then the owners take all the money and then bounce, and then never to be heard from again. It crashes. And Jian hasn't taken a penny out of this. We've sat down, we've built this, and we've worked so hard on this, and we're making this for the long run. This is not like a 1 week project or a 1 month project. This is something we're working on for years ahead of us. So we're not looking at this in the short term. We're looking at this, how can we make this long and sustainable? So even though like the whole market crashed, last week, where everyone started, people panicked from all these different coins, and they were like, oh my God, a lot of our main holders were like, no, we see here, this is the mission that really has something behind it. And they stayed as loyal, true fans, and they were excited about all the roadmap projections that we have that we're working on. And it makes people more trusting in the mission, because they see here's a token that the founders aren't taking anything out of, and they're working on building something great. And even though the market's fluctuating, they're still delivering on the roadmap.
So Jian, you said that you've invested in 52 tokens. They've all gone to zero. So I'm curious because I also heard you said you got into Bitcoin early, so that's obviously hasn't gone to zero. So
he's talking tokens though. I don't think Bitcoin. He's talking like smaller ones.
Utility tokens, like
okay.
Yeah.
Well, my question was going to be, what's been like the life cycle of these tokens that you've invested in that have gone to zero? Are we talking like a couple months, a year or two? Or are they all over the place?
2 months tops.
Really?
Those tokens. Yeah, it's purely a lot of hype. They put a lot of influencers behind it. It's hype. The truth is, influencers are great, but influencers don't necessarily convert into holders because they're not the customers that follow the influencers. Sometimes they get confused and they don't know how to buy because you have to go through 3 steps, and that's confusing for them. Instead of buying Bitcoin, where you can go to Robinhood or Coinbase and just trade USD for Bitcoin, it's a little bit different buying a utility token. I think that's part of the reason. And it's also, the other reason is there's these guys are launching it strictly just, obviously there's a charity component, but that's not sustainable as we all know. Like if you start a nonprofit and you don't have constant donations, your nonprofit is basically dead. What makes something survive is you got to have a business aspect to it. It's like, why do you invest in stocks? Because the business generates profit. There's revenue. There's, a constant game plan going on. A lot of these tokens don't have that. And I feel like we're the first one that came out in the market and said, listen, we're not gonna hype this. Other people have hyped balls, but that's out of our control. And we told the market, we're not gonna hype this. We have a roadmap. We're sticking to the roadmap. We're building this like a business. And that's what I've been doing for the last 15 years. I've been building businesses. And I feel like I've gotten so good at it. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I feel like I've gotten so good at it that I haven't lost profit in the last couple of years. And we're applying the same principles over the balls, which, over time, I could see the visuals. It's going to be something that's just so big because balls, number one, it's memeable. Like you can create, a gazillion memes out of it and share it everywhere that people can remember. Number two, it has meaning behind it because of the mission. Number three, it's just fun. It helps people feel better about themselves. So that's I think like combining all our skill sets and the amazing team that we have behind balls with Sami, Simon, or Darren, all those guys behind it that are 100% just straight balls. They're not even focusing on anything else. We're gonna be making it. We're gonna be pretty big.
Sami, let us know if we gotta bleep that name out. I know we got some secret investors in here that we're not supposed to mention. We should
say too that Joel and I are investing in balls as well.
Yeah, we are invested. I was gonna say Sami also wanted us to do a disclosure. I think you have to basically to cover your own balls. We're not financial experts by any stretch of the imagination. Nope. But yeah, me and Gator are both in. Mostly because we know Sami, he's never done us wrong. He's a very smart guy. He's passionate about it. Jian obviously has a proven track record behind him. And
I just love the mission, man. I like to get behind something that I can actually like, that actually means something to me. I mean, you're completely right. I mean, I've been in other tokens too, like other cryptos, and it really is just like a pump and dump. You throw your money in, you catch the wave up, and you try to get out before it falls, This is completely different as far as not only the what's the fucking word I'm looking for? Not only the charity aspect of it, but the aspect of just something that is my passion. Something that can motivate me, that I can stand behind, that we can actually use as guys to be better versions of ourselves.
You never have enough balls.
You never have enough balls.
So you were saying we're still gonna do the first ever balls transaction today, I believe, right?
I'm actually speaking to the developer now. So one of the developers who's working behind the scenes is a dad who used to lift and now wants to get back into lifting. And so I'm literally getting him to. He's like, I want to go and work with these guys. I want the coaching. So he's actually about to go ahead and send the first ever balls transaction for service live on this podcast, which is
let's go.
There you go.
Let's go. Get him in the program.
Sending some balls for Joel Staley Fitness, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's get it. So I was gonna say, just to do my part any way I can, as soon as this drops for indefinite amount of time until it doesn't make sense anymore, I was going to say anybody who does put their money into balls and backs to the mission, I was just going to give them 20% off on a 12-week program just to help hype it up. And yeah, it's like you said, it's about being a man, self-development, getting better, that tribalism that you get from being with like-minded, growth-minded individuals, which is why we do this podcast. So yeah, if people get into balls, I'm happy to shave a little discount and if they want to get in shape as well.
I do want to say too that this stuff is not as easy as like going on Robinhood, like you said, and going and buying fucking Ethereum or, Bitcoin or whatever. There's a process to buying this stuff. It took me a little bit. I had one of Joel's buddies walk me through it, but Sami does have a video on YouTube. I believe it's just called "How to Buy Balls."
How to acquire balls token. But we
are balls token.
We are working on streamlining the process because obviously once you launch it, you're just trying to make it like to see if it actually can get out there. But Jian, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're working on getting it onto these easier platforms where we're going to be able to trade it on.
We are. So first step is we got to get SEC registered, which the legal is working on it. We're actually going to be official. It's not going to be just another one of those. Can I curse on this podcast?
Oh yeah.
It's not going to be a shit coin, basically. So we want to make this official, where eventually we're going to jump off and run our own like chain, which is we're going to call it baller nodes, which we're going to have our own blockchain. People can mine and all that. From that point on, and the whole world is our oyster. Basically, it's like we can go and list it on Coinbase. We can go and list it on exchanges that people can actually trade US dollars for balls. And transacting of it becomes a whole lot easier as we can integrate with Shopify, we can integrate with any POS system that businesses has to accept, obviously, the right businesses that relate to balls to make it easy. I think that's something that's in the back of our minds. We're all paying to have that done. I don't know how long that's going to take, hopefully not too long, but I could see a very bright future for 2022 when this stuff gets integrated everywhere.
I will say, like Joel said, we are not financial advisors. Don't take our advice by any means. Yet. No, we are not. But this is a token that's like, this is one of those ones that you hear of, again, launched like 2 weeks ago, that you can get in on the ground floor right now. One that's like 0.000000. I don't even know what it's at right now, but it's really, really cheap. It's crazy cheap. You get in right now on the ground floor, and these things come through like he's talking about to where it does become more readily available and easier to get. That's when that's when the price spikes. And when
especially with a name like balls, people just
when
buy
you're
it.
Talking fucking decimals, you can make, depends on how much you invest, but you can make millions of dollars. You can make a lot of money.
Right.
So these are the ones I'm always looking for. The ones that launch right away, they have a good meeting, they have a good mission that you can stand behind. And it's not like, if you listen to these guys, you can listen to them right here on this podcast. It's not like they're just trying to pump and dump it. They have a fucking plan to keep this thing going for years, right? So that's what you want as founders. It's true. Most of the founders of these tokens, they fucking pump that shit up as far as they can, make their millions, get the fuck out, and they don't give a shit about you. You're gone. They're gone, So this is completely different. So I think it's a good opportunity for that. I sunk a chunk of money in it. I know you did too. And I'm in for the long haul.
Yeah.
I don't even really check it. I know down the road, a year from now, I'm going to be up. It's going to be making some money.
Right. Yeah. I'm
again, not financial advisors.
Just the double entendres are worth buying in, because like after the first day I got in, I get a text from Sami when I wake up the next morning. It's like, your ball bag just got a little bit bigger. And then it dips. I'm like, man, my balls haven't been this small since I took a cold shower. I haven't seen my balls drop this far since I was 2 years old, or whatever the hell it is. But just to get the ball puns in, it's worth getting in on the action, in my opinion.
Joel, you got your phone on you because the dev just sent you the first ever live transaction of balls. He said, tell him I'm looking forward to undoing my dad bod of 2.5 years. I'll be taking some before and afters following the program as best as I can.
Man, all right, he's going to kill it. Let's see here. Yes, sir. I got me some balls, brother.
Nice.
Yeah, and I have more balls than I got now.
First ever transaction of balls for services. Because like I said, it's a very early on project. So this was we wanted this podcast to be the first one we do. So this is awesome.
When we're all ball millionaires, And go back to this podcast, be like, man, first transaction was on the Dads Who Live podcast.
We can say we told everyone. Yeah. If you, especially if you're.
I spend my balls so I can grow stronger balls.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
that's
the
right.
growth potential, I would say there's so many guys that they want a sure thing's not even a great word, but they want an explosive growth opportunity. And you're really not going to get that on the S&P or, just regular investing of stuff that's been around for a long time. Whereas what Gate is saying is there's multiple decimals. The growth potential in balls is massive. If you just had $1,000 or even a couple $100 that you wanted to throw in and say, you know what, maybe I won't go to the casino this weekend. I'll put it on this and see what happens. Because
again, not financial advisors.
What got me I saw your story on Facebook like 6 days after launch, and you're like, all right, it's 83 or 86x since we've launched. And then I messaged you about something else. You messaged me about some Instagram stuff. And then I was like, what do you got going on here? And he's like, your buddy got in on the ground floor. He's up. He put in like 1,200. He's up past six figures now. And I was like, hey, well, thanks for the fucking
heads up right away, bro.
Thanks a lot,
Tim Reed first.
But I was like, man, that's crazy. He put in a little bit of money, and then a week later, he's got this significant nest to work with. So that is possible, especially because it's dipped again with everything going on in the crypto market. So
everything in crypto is down right now, which is actually a really good time to buy crypto if you want to get into crypto.
Yeah.
Again, not financial advice. Everyone, guys, do your research. Whoever's watching this and listening to this, seriously, it's good to kind of get excited about projects, but I really recommend that people do their research and kind of get behind projects that they're excited about and not just go ahead and go into something random. Like, go and do your research about stuff.
Just get into balls. I'm just kidding. Yeah, man. So I don't know how to see if my transaction went through or not. I feel pretty confident that it did, but dude, I'm so new to this shit. I have no idea how I need.
So you open up your wallet.
All right. So you need let's tell people what they need to get started, so at least they have the apps downloaded by the time they look up your YouTube video or before it gets easier.
So the easiest way to do it, honestly, is just to go ahead and download crypto.com, the app, and then download the app that's called Trust Wallet. That's been the easiest way for me to find out how to do it in the US, because there's so many different variables I have to do. But getting those two apps, crypto.com and the Trust Wallet, would be the best way to get started before watching the video, so you can have that set up.
Trust Wallet, all right. And
Crypto.com. And on this one, I believe you bought BNB, or I bought BNB, I'm pretty sure, right? Bought BNB and Crypto.com, and then transferred that over into the Trust Wallet.
Really only takes, if the apps don't act up and they trigger right away, it really only takes 10 or 15 minutes. But you got held up, like it wouldn't take your card at first, and it was kind of
a pain in the ass. But I mean, like I said, I feel like it's a good thing that it's a pain in the ass right now, because it allows you to get in at a cheaper price, like a really, really cheaper price. Right. But once they get this shit more mainstreamed and it's not a pain in the ass, then that's when shit goes up and it's more expensive. So if you can get it now when it is a pain in the ass, you can make more profit when it's not a pain in the ass down the road.
So I think we've stressed the fact we're not financial advisors. Let's get into some exciting stuff, though. I mean, just realistically, what kind of projections would you guys, in a perfect world, hope to see a year, 5 years down the road? Like, what's your 5-year plan if this is going to be grown as a business?
5-year plan is to have 1 million customers trading back and forth with balls for products and services.
Nice. And you mentioned coaching, men's fitness. Did I hear that you guys were going back and forth with like Men's Health about being featured in there? Is there any grounds to that, or did I make that up?
Yeah, there's Men's Health magazine. We're gonna get on that. We're gonna get on a whole bunch of other publications. Sort of working that out right now as we bring on other influencers as well, so that we could buff up the image to match our mission. Versus just us saying it. We're looking for doctors to contribute to the content side of Balls Health. Anything that we're doing right now in June legitimizes like Balls Health in itself, and July and onwards is just about scaling, getting more customers through the door.
You want to tell them about the meeting you're having, or
which one?
You want to tell them about the meeting that you're having, or you're keeping that quiet?
I have quite a few meetings. I mean, I'm meeting the New York Giants this week. We're actually sitting down and figuring out like what we could do with football. Potentially moving on to the NBA, some NBA players next, talking about what we could do with basketball, anything to do with balls we want to integrate, whether it's like creating NFTs, creating games, which these players are open to, like imagine like NFL players versus ball holders, and we're playing for charity. So things that make the utility token fun and easy to use that people can get involved in, we're going after that. But it has to relate to balls. It's not just like, it's not just, just like charity, but it has to relate to helping people become better. Like if you want to play against NFL players, you better get your balls in and you better train hard because you're going to get smacked.
Yeah, I was gonna say a bunch of crypto nerds going up against some NFL linemen. That'd be pretty sweet. I'd pay to watch that. Yeah, I'd pay to watch that all day. You guys ever see like the pickup trucks and they have like the little brass balls hanging from the back of the trailer? My goal here is to, when this blows up,
have some gold ones,
and we have the dads who lift jet.
Yeah,
we get a big
we
pair
put some
of
gold balls for a jet
hanging from the jet.
I don't think so, man. That'd be pretty rich.
If it gets us there, we got to pay tribute.
All right. We'll see. How much are these balls going to be worth? I don't know if you can even do that.
We'll find out. We'll get them. You can do anything when you got that balls money, bro.
I guess.
That'd be cool. I mean, one day, once we get big enough, we might get a blimp with some balls hanging and then fly it over the NFL games.
There you go.
The possibilities really are endless.
When you're talking about balls.
You're talking about ball. I mean,
you never know.
There's so many avenues you can go down. So you're right. I didn't even think about like sports teams, but God, porn stars. I'm just kidding. Really, there are so many things you could do, and it advertises itself. It's just like fun to talk about, honestly.
I think the virality effect is going to just take off on its own, and we don't really have to do much besides fixing up the foundation, which is what we're doing in June. So I have a very strong feeling that July, August, September is just going to pick up on its own. The community is going to run it because they want it to grow. Obviously, they have interest in it, and they want to help each other become healthy. It's like you're getting a bunch of people that are in a gym, for instance, and they're helping each other get fitter and stronger. You're building a community. They're obviously going to back each other. I don't think we have to do much. I really, really think it's going to take off on its own. It's kind of like Bitcoin. You had the initial geeks and nerds, which is AK, I'm one of them. And we supported one another, and we basically made it to where it is today. I mean, it wouldn't be here today without that core foundation. And it's so important that we make sure that foundation is a success in June, which is this month.
Do you guys have like a Discord or anything? I know you guys have a Telegram group. I'm wondering, do people do like Discords or Facebook groups or anything like that for the community? Because the Telegram, I mean, it's like you're like you blink and you missed 8 conversations, especially as it blows up. So I'm wondering if you guys have like a Discord or some sort of forum or Facebook group or some place where the growth-minded men who are going to utilize this, your community, can just go in and talk about both the growth of the coin, the current status of it, but also things that align with your mission as well, as far as just like staying healthy and self-development.
Yeah, we do have a Discord. I guess we'll post the links and send it over to you guys. Planning to get a lot more active on Discord. We have a Facebook group too, with Twitter. We have basically all the social channels that we're going to be distributing content to. But chat-wise, Discord is going to be, I think, a very crucial piece for us.
Yeah, send us those links and we'll post them in the comments of the podcast.
I mean, the easiest way to find everything right now is just go to balls.health.
Okay. Everything's listed on the website.
Yeah. So you can find like the Instagram, the Twitter, the Facebook, the Telegram link. Even tells you how to buy on balls.health.
Awesome.
I'm honored to be first transaction. I look forward to transforming a physique here in return for some balls and back in the mission. I'll just repeat one more time before I go out with a hype that of course, we're not financial professionals, but at the same time, I'm pretty excited about this. And don't get all salty when me and Gator's balls are blowing up and you're still working your 9 to 5 because you didn't take our not advice, but
we're in.
What we're talking about.
Yeah, we're in. So, well, guys, thanks so much for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it. Sami, Jian, I know you guys are super busy guys and have a lot going on. So thanks for taking the time out of your morning here to kind of inform us about your balls so that more people can get on the balls.
we got them diamond balls. But thanks for having us on.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely, guys. So yeah, this has been the Dads Who Live podcast. Thanks for tuning in. If you got any value from this, please give us a like, share, 5-star review. We do this stuff for free, guys. We don't do any advertising or anything like that. You tell a friend, they tell a friend. That's how we grow this thing. Podcast is on pretty much every fucking podcast format. All the formats are on our website, www.dadsliftofficial.com. We also have apparel, sweatshirts, shirts, hats, badass hats. On the website as well, www.dadsliftofficial.com. We're on IG as Dads Who Live Official. We are on Facebook as Dads Who Live Podcast. And we also have a Facebook group of 50,000 like-minded dads trying to be their best selves, stay fit at the same time. If that's something that interests you, that is a group on Facebook called Dads Who Lift Official. Thanks for tuning in. Get your, not a financial advisor, but get your balls.
It's forever, you know, this life forever, no surrender. It's forever, you know, this life forever. I ain't bigger dead than alive, bigger dead than alive. I ain't bigger dead than alive, dead than alive, yeah. I ain't bigger dead than alive, bigger dead than alive, la la la.